All right, great. I don't know if you noticed it's being more, the video might have been more clear. I don't know if it's, all right. All right, so yeah, that's change some screen on my phone. Yeah.
You're not in another hallway, are you?
I'm at the, oh, actually it's a master bedroom here at the yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the room. Okay.
Right, okay. Good.
Yeah, all right. So let's start maybe by sharing some wins. So any wins learning on your part?
I'm still here, still breathing.
Okay,
really.
okay, that's good. That's good. So have you been taking your breath slowly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, super slow.
That's actually
Small breath.
Right. Yeah, all right. So anything else you'd like to share, or you like me to share?
No, I don't think I've got anything else. I've just been relaxing, really. So that's
Okay,
a
good. All right. So all right. So for me, I think I guess two. One is actually okay. So this weekend again, been listening to Ray Dalio's stuff, and I think he mentioned about pain plus reflection is progress. Okay.
pain plus reflection.
So yeah, if you have pain, right? Whatever pain, mental pain, physical pain, emotional pain. Anyway, you are having suffering. But if you can reflect on that, right? For example, like what was causing that? What was the what was leading to that? And you can actually from that actually creates progress, right? So I think
it
this
creates
is
problems.
also, I'm sorry?
What, the reflection? You're saying the reflection creates problems?
No. The pain plus reflection, if you reflect over your pain, that creates progress. Not problem.
Progress.
Progress.
Beg your pardon.
Progress.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah. Progress. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I was actually at another a 2-day actually retreat event, actually sort of a camp, a learning camp, attended by in Taiwan, hosted by Bliss Wisdom. Is my voice all right? Is it breaking up? Okay,
hosted by who?
Bliss Wisdom. Okay, the group. And it was actually attended by CEOs and high-level executives, about 200 of them from all over Taiwan. Okay, so that was specifically designed for like high-level executives, founders, entrepreneurs. And there was also, I think, a part that was kind of related. Pain. One of the lessons that was taken away was, a lot of the issues, challenges, but if you can reflect them over, right, and then learn the lesson, that actually will create progress. So that's one thing. The other thing, Ray Dalio, I think he mentioned something about Bridgewater, which I thought was quite interesting. He was giving people like insurance. Well, for a while, Bridgewater, when they were started, they did not provide any kind of employee benefits. They just kind of assumed people will take care of themselves. But then, as it becomes bigger and also more profitable and more capable, they started to provide insurance. But they provide insurance to recover like big disasters, like death or serious medical conditions. But they didn't provide like dental. Okay, and the rationale was that like dental is probably something like it relates to personal habits, right? So it's kind of like if you take care of yourself well, then maybe you have a lower insurance fee, right? So they thought that it's something maybe you should just look after yourself. So that the way he was treating people was kind of it was both friendly okay, but also I guess with tough love. So it's treat everybody as they were treating a family member, okay, with love and acceptance and all that, but again with a certain principles regarding what should or should not, and people should take care of themselves responsibly. So that kind of created culture. So yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. So I guess the takeaway is it does start, culture starts from the non-verbal stuff. Okay. And also he does invest in people who value the culture. Usually that's, when they're adding people, he found that to be the best investment. Yeah. So those I think are a few learning from Delio. And yeah, it just brought me to think about, for example, like what kind of culture we like to create. Even though it could still be just mainly the two of us at the moment, or maybe in a foreseeable future. But I think that kind of because culture is what actually transcend, right? I think culture is what transcends. You can change your market, change your product, change your service, or evolve, right? You evolve, markets evolve, products evolve, services evolve, technology evolves. But culture, value, right, mission, those kind of things, they tend to stay, right? And longer term, that's the things that actually are kept intact. Yeah, so I think that's yeah, just something. The other thing I think basically thinking. So another win on the JCF front is I got back to like you suggested. I got in touch with the line customer service, had get access to that, and try to see what has been happening, which and also responded.
Cool.
One of the clients, I don't think I have checked the response yet, but basically started to re-engage. For example, like asking what's the reason of wanting to turn away. And I think right now it's all right. Yeah, it's actually not that many requests. So I think for the time being, maybe I can just handle it myself. But yeah, obviously at some point, I think we want to bring in some person specifically for that. And again, someone whose unique ability and passion is in terms of building and serving clients. I think that's definitely something. Yeah, I haven't got a response yet, but yeah, I've sent the response back already. So I think that's a win. And
even if no, well done. But I mean, even if they all jettison and that's it, doesn't matter. I mean, the important thing is, A, are you reaching out to them and talking to them, and B, are they especially if they're sitting there saying, I want to go, are you finding out why?
Right.
I think
exactly.
those are the, and I think also for those people that haven't said anything, but are just sitting there, then to say to them, hey, we're just doing a review of what's going on. What really? How are you finding things? What are your thoughts?
Right.
And that's the thing to, maybe even sit there and say things like, if we're maybe to prompt them to invest more. Just go like, look, at the moment, for every $100, means that you'll get 150 tokens or something like that, whatever the rate is, right? Now would be a great time to invest because the net asset value is currently slightly lower, or whatever the correct, maybe not the net asset value, but to sit there and say that, by investing at the moment, and then if they're already bought in, and then the other thing about compounding and about dollar cost averaging is that you just got to keep consistently trickle feeding in amounts. So if you just dump in $1,000 and then let it ride, then it will grow. Yes, of course it will. But if
Right.
you put $1,000 in every month, then over the course of the year, you're not only are you compounding up the interest, but because you're adding extra capital each month,
Right.
it's gonna exponentially grow the impact of the compounding that we're generating.
Okay. That's
So I think if we help people understand that, then
right.
they're more inclined to go, oh, okay, so if I add more in, that'd be great. Now,
Right.
so that doesn't matter what their actual initial purchase or their initial investment is.
Right.
It will then mean that we're educating them to actually keep on adding in, which will benefit the fund as a whole.
Yes, that's definitely, I think, a great piece. Education and also helping them to build assets, right? I think that's also part of the for legacy and impact. So that's a line. So just on that, I almost forgot a really, really important realization, which I like to share. This could be a discussion topic, but just over the weekend, actually, just out of nowhere, like after I just woke up, brushing my teeth, and this just came. I realized that we at hand actually have 3 strategies, okay, that are relatively safe and reliable. And also, I realized that the key or the trick is to actually have a reliable way to identify what's the general market trend at the moment. Okay, so there are 3 main types of trend, I believe. One is trending upwards, so bullish market, right? The other is trending downward, bearish market. The other is like sideways, right? Ups and downs, right? Or stagnating, right? So channel, okay. So actually, if we can have a relatively correct, broadly accurate way to characterize the current market trend, that's one thing. The second is apply the best strategy, okay, during each main trend type. Then I think we probably will have a pretty solid all-season kind of strategy in place. So for example, I mean, I don't have the details yet, but I mean, this is just the rough idea. For generally upward bullish, that's index, right? You hold the top, you go in as a, you hold an index position, because that's when the market is growing overall, and an index approach is again a safer way than, let's say, betting on. Yeah, by the way, you probably know that Ripple has risen like 60% over last week, right? Right?
I pay no attention to any of them. Honestly.
A couple of Solana, which is a second layer 2 token, that's kind of like a bridge, has gone up, I think 30%, and Ripple has gone 60%. Okay, just that. But the big ones, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, they all like stay flat. So according to our current rules, we don't enter, okay, in cases like that, because right now our main lead indicators are still the top 3, okay. But what's happened is Ripple has now replaced BNB, the Binance coin, as the number, besides USDT, as the 4th largest token at the moment, okay, because of that jump. Yeah, so this is just a market thing to let you know. So, but I mean, right now would be actually a great time to enter the market as a index fund. Okay, so I'm just showing you that that's kind of what's happening now. And if it's generally down, okay, if it's generally down, like a bearish market, then dollar cost average actually would be a good strategy. Okay, because essentially you're continuously to basically take more and more position over depreciating assets, okay, which at some point you are expecting them to return. So dollar cost average, I think, will be probably a good bearish market strategy, okay. And then you have the straddle, the ups and downs, or the flagnating. I think that probably would be good when we have assets in some kind of liquidity pool. Okay, meaning that we're taking basically providing interest, right? with regard to like tradings, because that's when trading occurs. I believe, when the trend is very clear, I think the trading will be less, right? People will tend to hold or or not invest, right? They will tend to stop, but it's ups and downs, or like I think that's when trading activities actually happen more frequent, because people want to get on the rides, the quick the quick waves, ups and downs, either direction, right? So that's when actually trading activities probably will be more during those times. And that's when, as a liquidity provider, right? Let's say you're providing liquidity between BTC and USDT or Ethereum and USDT. I think that's when probably you will make a profit as a liquidity provider. Okay, so these are just, kind of, I think, rough thoughts, which I think a very knowledgeable chief investment officer, having a discussion with a good CIO and to really clarify what should be the actual rules, the specific rules for the strategy. I think that's in place. That's probably wanted. Okay. But, I just sort of realized if we can actually design something like that, that's actually, could give us a pretty good edge, in terms of providing reliable performance, regardless of the market or the weather, right? So that's actually just a realization this weekend. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we want to talk with these guys on next Wednesday, right, or next Tuesday, is because
I see the trading guys, the automated trading guys.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Because what they showed me was just the way in which the system actually worked out what the different what the different rates of return were for trading between different coins, even trading between stables.
Okay.
Now I see. I'm very much a dabbler. I'm not a clever person when it comes to this sort of stuff. So I just
you have good common
profit
sense.
and loss.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes a profit, it makes a profit, doesn't it? Really? I mean, there's no. Doesn't.
Right. I mean.
Yeah.
I think your attitude, and also behavior will be very different, but like in the book Psychology of Money, it talks about like there's no right and wrong of what people are doing, because people are operating at different time scale, right? If you're there as, if you're treating cryptos as assets and you're like an assets owner, your behavior will be very different from, let's say, traders, right, who are leveraging on the short terms, ups and downs, or trying to flip things quickly, right? I mean,
yeah.
And all these people are operating in the same market, assuming that everybody else operates the same, but they don't, right? That's why, so that's why you see some really crazy prices, right? Because the traders, for them, it doesn't matter, it's as long as they can make quick profits, right? But for the long-term investor, some prices are just really crazy, while some price, crazy either way, right? Too high or too low. And that's when people like Warren Buffett take advantage of the disparity between the actual worth and the market price, right? So I think we want to be probably some kind of hybrid, right? But maybe someone who's operating, at different time scale as well. Yeah. So. But I think the key is to provide reliable return.
Yeah. And I think that's what was interesting about this platform, that they'll sit there and they'll sit there and show you this what is it, the means in which you can, the trading elements that you can returns you can get.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. So.
Thanks. Yeah.
Let's talk about what's his name? Was it not Hugo? What's his name?
No. So what's the thing you like to discuss for today?
Well, I thought we were going to talk about Josh.
Oh yeah, Josh, that's one thing. Josh, I will have a meeting sync with him in about an hour. Okay, which on the latest progress. If things go well, that would be pretty close to closing the first stage. Which the only thing I'll ask him to do now is to show the NAV, the asset, the current portfolio value, right? And also like total asset size, the AUM, basically the information that you get from the current system, from the previous running JCF system, the wealth system as well. So people, once they invest, they can have a clear look at, how much token, how many tokens they got, what's the USD value for that, things like that, right? So kind of you have a clear idea there. And then I mean, at that stage, we probably can already accept investments and, basically onboard people, okay, that way. And then it would be, depend on what we would like to optimize next. Whether it's donation, whether it's a user interface. So I think that's a separate phase now. And then regarding the Josh discussion, so that's another, I think, interesting win, because just to give you some context, he's right now having another job that probably pays him about $1,000 US or more, probably more. But I guess the boss wasn't very considerate. Isn't very considerate in terms of developers' time. While his manager kind of interrupts him for deadlines, which kind of annoyed, which is annoying for developers. But so I've been sort of providing some feedback, coaching along that line for him. But the other thing is regarding next steps for JCF, for wealth and for all the other things. So I was just sort of asking him what's in his view, something that would ensure reliable like development or things like that. And he just offered, he said that we should probably get a full-time developer who can work on the system like fully. So I asked him any recommendation, and he just said himself. Okay. He recommended himself, and he's happy to walk away from his current job for $1,000 a month, right? Which, well, actually he asked for less than 1,000. Okay, but I just top it roughly 1,000 a month. He's probably asking for something like $900 per month. Yeah, which is, by the way, Taiwan's minimum wage for full-time people at this moment.
900 a month isn't much, is it? US.
That's US dollars. Yes, that's the minimum wage in Taiwan at the moment. Yeah. So
how many hours though?
Well, it's 9 hours, 8 hours.
Right. Not your 4-hour work week then. No.
But for us, we consider a full-time someone who is working 4 hours per day. Okay, so let me just give you the sort of the immunology version for this. We pay about $20 right now to developers. Like that's our rate, which is considered higher than I think the average in Taiwan. So $20, and we ask full-time to do just, I think, 4 hours per day times just 4 days a week. So that's $320. And if you times that by 4 weeks, that's about $1,300. Okay, so that's actually what we currently consider as a full-time for immunology.
You say we, that's immunology.
Immunology, yeah. That's actually what the immunology rate for paying developers. Okay, so
right. How many full-time developers have you got working at immunology then?
At the moment, none. right now everyone is part-time. I mean, right now there's only part-time developers, which is
Right.
but I'm just saying that you know, that's what we would
is there
consider as a
any?
full-time, right?
Well, okay. I don't know. I think we have to be a bit more. I don't know. I'm not convinced with that argument at all.
Okay.
It's one thing.
Okay.
It's one thing getting to that stage. It's another thing. Well, it's one thing being at that stage because you worked hard to get there. It's another thing getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in all aspects, there's some level of sacrifice. So when I walked out of university, I walked into a job that I didn't know anything about.
Right.
And in fact, the reason I got the job was somebody said, "Oh, I know, they needed somebody to hand out flyers. You know what flyers are, don't you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just little bits of A5 paper with some information printed on it, and just to attract people." So I got paid a pittance to do that, but it was like I just walked out of university. It was great. And then whilst I was talking to them, I found out that they needed some building work done. And I went, well, I've done something in that area. I've got
they needed some what? You said they needed some
building work. Building work.
Oh, building work. Okay.
Yeah. They were renovating an office.
Ah, okay.
So I went in there and I said, okay, well, I did this and this and this and this. And they went, well, come and have a look and tell us what you think. And I went, all right, this is what you need to do, this and this. Oh, okay, fine. When can you start? I did that. That completed, and then he said, "Oh, we need an office manager. Do you want to do that job?" I went, "Yeah, all right." Now I was just out of university, so I was just accepting it all. And then I ended up through a series of different stages, became their sales manager.
Okay.
And when we sold the company, well, I didn't sell it, but when the company was sold, I got gifted a chunk of money for being a part of the company. It wasn't shit. Oh no, I actually got some shares as well. I got some shares in the new company. But the point is, I didn't start with all of the kind of nice things. Just about being there at the very beginning and putting in the work, and every time they saw that I worked, they rewarded me with more work and more responsibility. And it's just a matter of building up and building up and building up until eventually,
naturally, right, organically,
I got the result. I mean, when I think at the time, I thought, God, they didn't pay me very much. But actually, when I think about it, for what I was getting and what I got, actually, I've got a pretty good deal.
Okay. You mean in retrospect, right? In retrospect.
Yeah, when I think about what actually happened. So, and I think that if you're taking on people, I would strongly recommend for JCF that if Josh is asking for 900 to do a full week, then we pay him 900 to do a full week if we want him to do a full week. The fact that in 6 months, when things have all kind of changed, we can sit there and go, right, because you've been here this and that time and you sacrificed yada yada yada, this is this is what we can offer you, and we can change that. Well, then that's fair enough. He's only going to say yes, but if you start with just do 4 hours a week or 4 hours a day, and get paid twice as much as per hour, it kind of sets a precedent right from the get-go when you don't have anything to give. The next question then is, if you sit there and say, well, okay, it's 900 for 7 hours or whatever it is, no benefit. Where's the 900 coming from?
I mean, where does the 900 come from? Oh, okay. So I think,
how are we going to pay?
Okay. Oh, you're talking about right now. right now it's, well, right now my thinking is, well, that's something maybe yeah, that's probably a discussion, right?
If it's you and me doing 450 each, right?
Right.
If that's the case, that's right now. I've still got to sit there and figure that out because it's 450 coming out of income sec.
Right.
And I already told you last week, I'm bemoaning the plight of where income sec is at the moment, based upon the amount of time and effort I put into JCF.
Right.
So, you know, to actively take more money out, that's going to be a tough one for me. Right. Because you know, I'm just being open about it. I don't think it's I think the idea is good. So I think the idea of having a full-time dev is a good idea. Especially because you've seen his work and you're comfortable with it. And if he's got an understanding and he's put himself forward, he's keen.
Right.
I don't know what his situation is, but this might be an example of saying, well, sorry, I've just realised the air conditioning above me has got loads of little drops of water waiting to fall.
Okay.
It's like it's going to rain.
All right.
So I don't know if this is a situation where we say to him, okay, well, look, this is, we would like to do a part token payment and offer him. And here's where you can offer him more tokens than he's actually, you know, than they're actually worth, right?
Right.
To
Exactly.
incentivize.
Yes, exactly.
And so
that's a good idea.
And then go, look, you're currently on 900. I mean, this is how I would pitch it. You're currently on 900. We'd be happy to pay you a full 1,000. Okay. However, we would at the moment, because of cash flow and getting
4,000 a month.
No,
is that what you're?
One.
Oh, 1,000. Okay. 1,000.
We are happy to pay a full 1,000.
Right.
Yeah. So we're happy to pay a full 1,000.
Right.
Per month. However, you understand where we are in terms of project life cycle. So we would like to, instead of offering you 1,000 cash, we would offer you, I don't know if this is the right amount, but let's say 500 cash and
500 tokens.
Well, no, you'd have to have it more in tokens.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to have more tokens. Because what's the point?
I see.
You know, the tokens, at the moment, the tokens are worthless.
Right. Sure.
Because they're not, they're only going to be of value when, so you need to offer more than 500.
Okay.
And when you offer more than, you want to make it not just a little bit more, but like a decent size more.
I see.
Right.
Okay. Like
so
1,000.
It makes it a no-brainer. Well, you say, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Now you're into the realms of, okay, so if it's, so effectively we get 1,500 a month.
Yes.
Right.
Which is actually a decent developer salary, you know, at this level in Taiwan.
Yeah. So he's in Taiwan, is he?
He's in Taiwan. Yeah, he's based in Taiwan.
Is he one of these guys that is he Taiwanese, but he's given himself an English name?
He's Taiwanese. Yeah, but his English, I consider his English pretty good because he's been involved, you know, in this.
Yeah, no. But I mean,
right? I mean, he can come.
Yeah, but his name is, he's called himself Josh, right? He's given himself the name Josh.
Yeah, Taiwanese all have English name. Yeah. I mean, Shenyuan is the exception. You have to understand that.
Well, you're quite happy with who you are, which is, that makes
like Shenyuan, you know, like almost all the Taiwanese I know have an English name, you know, like at my age, you know, maybe older Taiwanese don't have English name. Yeah, but like all the Taiwanese I know at my age, they all have English name. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? That's just the thing, isn't it?
No,
Okay.
no, it's just, yeah.
So where are we at then?
You were talking about what's the offer for him, right?
Yeah. So I think we'd have to, first of all, we'd have to sit there and gauge whether or not he's interested.
Right.
And then he's going to go, well, if he is interested, I would imagine he'd straight away say, well, what can we offer?
I think he's interested. He's interested because, just for background and context, okay, and also transparency. Okay. I actually
He's your cousin.
What?
He's your cousin.
No. No, maybe cousin from previous life, but not this life. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't think I'm related to him in this life. All right. But anyway, he's really into open source. So his 3-year thing, okay, is actually about making meaningful contribution for the open source community and have a really good project with a lot of, followers, attention developers. Now, I actually pitched him the idea that, how about let's build an open source wealth system? Which I'm pretty sure if you release a fintech system, which I don't think I know any, that has done that, then that probably will be something attracting attention, and you can build a community for that. And he's also doing his master, okay, at the moment, and he's picking his research topic. So I even recommend you can even base your master thesis, on this project you're working on. So again, right, the less but better idea, the kind of the keystone goal thing, right? Like what would be the keystone goal?
Is he living at home?
What?
Does he live at home?
I think he lives in a dormitory now at school. Okay, but well, his home is very close to his school, so he's probably living at home.
So yeah. How would he operate full time then?
Oh, I mean, it's just if he doesn't have other obligation, he would basically have the.
So he's not going to work 9 to 5 anyway.
No. I mean, obviously he would have school responsibility as well. Yeah, that's but
just not a full-time position then.
But right now he is also taking, I think, a salary pay job, probably at that level. Okay, I would, I haven't checked, but I'm assuming he's getting that salary at that level, because the amount he's asking is lower than his current salary. I'm pretty sure, like he has made a discount when he was proposing this, the amount. He's probably making more right now on a monthly basis while being a student. Okay, so I'm just giving you context.
I get. So here's the thing, right? When you in at university, it was like you worked full-time 9 to 5 during the summer or the winter or whenever the holidays were, and you got paid for the hours that you worked. And then when you were at university, I got paid for the hours that I worked, not anything else. Nor did I have like a job that gave me a full-time salary, even though I spent, I don't know, 30, 40 hours a week in lectures. Or whatever it was.
That's a decent time spent, yes.
So, and there was no employer that would give me money for the time that I spent not working. And so if you're paying somebody $10 an hour, right, and they're only actually working 5 hours a week, then you're not going to pay them anything more than $50. So for me, that's how I've grown up. If you work an hour, you get paid an hour.
Yes, that's the time and effort economy, right? That's the time and effort economy.
It is. And the only way you get out of that is when you become an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because if you're paying people who are based on time and effort on entrepreneurial kind of concepts, then the system doesn't really work. There's no entrepreneur that structures unless they've got a team of people who are all subcontracting. But even then, the subcontractors, what you want to be successful with any form of production, whether or not it's producing code or it's producing manufactured with widgets, is you want consistency. Right. You want the consistency to know that X is going to turn up at Y time, so that you can produce it and sell it at Z. And I think that I've not met an entrepreneur. I mean, Dan Sullivan. Okay, when you listen to what he says, right. he enables all of his coaches are all experienced entrepreneurs who have been successful in doing their businesses.
Right. Correct.
I mean, the one that we have in the UK, he's still running his 40, 50 million pound operation.
Right.
So, he still spends time doing that. And, the thing is that they've structured their time so that they are able to dedicate time to coach. But what he's teaching us is not, right, all of his employees have an entrepreneurial lifestyle. No, he's utilizing that for himself to structure his business, but he's making sure that time-based economy is the thing that drives these people forward. They might be expending their unique abilities in doing the tasks that they have to do. Do you see what I mean? Do you understand the point I'm making?
Yes, I understand. Yeah. You're saying that I think you're saying that it's natural for entrepreneurs to work and come. By definition, entrepreneurs are working the results economy by definition, right? Because nobody's going to compensate, entrepreneurs for any time and effort. That's for sure. Now, within an organization, right, that's pretty much all the organizations right now are time and effort economy. Okay, and that's where 80-90% of people live, right, and operate. So I guess the question is, but however, whether you want to make your organization entrepreneurial, okay, I think that's like a decision, a key decision of the management or the founders, right? I think that's kind of like, that's a decision, right? And a preference.
Show me an example where they've done that.
Well, there are, I think, examples to different degrees. For example, like when I'm not saying they're doing that fully, okay, but let's say when you're giving profits as shares to employees, which has been done in the semiconductor industry, for a long time.
Yeah. That's not entrepreneurial, though. That's just reward based. You're still rewarding. Right. You're still giving somebody a salary. The salary is for the time that they spend working, the hours that they work.
Right.
And then the extra is based upon the delivery of productivity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
It's not entrepreneurial. You're not rewarding people to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
Because by the very nature of them being entrepreneurs means that they're not actually delivering on the predictable elements of what you want them to deliver on. There's companies like, I can't remember the modern examples, but in the 90s, there's a company called Nortel, right?
Right.
They were bought out by, I don't know who they were bought out, but they were a telephone company.
Right.
And they made telephone systems, PBXs and handsets and stuff like that.
Right.
And they encouraged, and in fact, like Google do it, right? So Google encouraged people to go off and have some free time and and some think time, and then they come up with ideas.
20% time, yes, 20% time.
Yeah, who does it benefit though?
Yes,
it doesn't benefit the individuals, it benefits Google, because the individual has this brainwave, they have this brilliant idea, they take it along to their boss, and everybody goes, hooray, it's great, it's the next biggest, best thing. And then it's then taken and put into a Google umbrella. And the person who has the idea becomes maybe the chief, the VP of whatever the funky idea is.
And then maybe compensated with more shares, maybe with some stocks.
But it's still within the Google, it's still within the Google umbrella, and they're still getting paid for their time. It is not an entrepreneurial system.
Right. I think the closest will be results, like results based, some kind of results based.
Sorry?
Some kind of results based compensation. I think the closest will be like salespeople, right, with base or even zero base salary, and then everything else is just like commission results.
Very few and far between. Very few. There are very, very few salespeople who are capable and to do that, and very few who have got the confidence to do that. And also, when they do that, when you do find the ones which have got the confidence and the capability, they want a massive chunk of the profit because they're sacrificing stability.
Right. So
I've yet to be shown a system where it's truly as entrepreneurial as being an entrepreneur.
Okay, right. So I guess there is a dial, right? I mean, I don't see this as purely black and white. I mean, it's probably like a dial where basically the question is how much, like the guarantee salary part, right? Or the guarantee compensation part, and which is maybe another sort of performance results-based part. Right, and you can see that it's kind of a dial where probably for most people, for most employees, and for most people by definition, they want a higher level of safety, of guarantee, right?
Yeah.
What they're right, and I think for Josh as well, which is why he has quoted the $900. That I think for him is kind of the the minimum level that he feels comfortable. Right, in terms of not having to take care of, not having to take 2 or 3 jobs, and he can just, focus on one job. I think that's kind of his idea. I mean, from his
perspective. How much time is he going to gift? How much time is he trading for that 900?
I haven't checked with him, but I would imagine that would be probably the time that he's currently putting on for his other job. Okay, which I would imagine is roughly in the neighborhood of what you were putting in, like 30-40 hours a week. That's probably
no, that was just on work at school. That was on, I was putting in that when I was at university. Right. I was putting in maybe 3, 6, maybe 18 hours maximum.
Okay, I see.
In fact, and in the UK, I mean, obviously it's slightly different because of different countries, but in the UK, it's considered if you're doing 15 hours or less a week, you're only part-time.
Okay, I see.
But if you're doing 37 hours a week in the UK, that's a full-time position.
Right. Okay.
So if you're doing 20 to 30 hours of study during the week,
right,
then you're doing another 15 hours on top of that. You're doing a 45-hour work week, because studying is time that you're taking to, mental energy to turn into something.
Right. So I'm sensing from this conversation that you're trying to gauge what's a minimum hour, I guess, time commitment, right, on his part. that would make that would sort of justify the 900 that he's asking for. Is that what you're trying to? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so
absolutely.
I have an answer for this. I guess that's my thinking, but feel free to feedback. You know, as someone who's, I guess, also a developer myself, in the past, I don't consider, you know, I don't think like working 4 hours per day, more than that, beyond that, is meaningful. Okay, for a developer. If you can work like 4 hours, like dedicated time, that's probably already good. And 2 hours, you know, concentrate, you know, 2 hours. So that's why immunology was actually structured that way. Like 2 hours is actually considered part-time, 4 hours is actually considered full-time. That's the amount of time commitment we asked, you know, for the developers. And I think that kind of, you know, that kind of worked, particularly, you know, for the 2 hours per day, you know. JCF, actually, let me share a bit of history. It was actually started by having 2 developers just put in 2 hours per day. Okay, and 2 developers. Initially just 1 developer actually, and then there's 2 developers. They actually got the system, everything up and running, and you know, all the way. Obviously, we added some more dedicated, quote unquote, full time, which was Sunny, probably near the launch, the last 2 or 3 months. And he was probably working at, you know, 4 hours per day. That was like, and we had a system to report your hours. Okay, so it's called hourly. The system is called hourly. So, you know, you're compensated on the actual hours. We trust people. I mean, that's also another thing, right? We trust people to self-report. But then basically they report on the hours, right? And that's compensated on the pre-agreed upon hourly rate, and also a maximum hour per week. Okay, so for example, it's 2 hours per day times 4 days a week, that's 8 hours. So at most, you would log only 8, at most 10 hours, you know, to the system, and you get compensated for that. So that's kind of the system we used for quite a while. And I think it worked to a certain degree. Okay. I think there is a sweet spot actually in terms of, and we did put bars in terms of upgrading, quote unquote, upgrading people from the part-time to the full-time. Okay. Once they have demonstrated they can produce like reliable results, right, and on a consistent basis, that's the time, that's when they can be trusted to upgrade to, you know, for more full-time level. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't for everyone. So so I think for people who are still students level, you know, who might have other responsibility, 2 hours per day, that's kind of the sweet spot, you know, and then asking for 4 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, you know, of input, of dedicated time. And also, again, another important thing, another element to this is regular sync time, which, you know, in the early days, that was actually a daily sync. Okay, daily sync helps a lot for accountability, but that takes time on the manager.
So you're saying project 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, or 4 days a week?
4 days a week, because immunology operates on, you know, like when we started, we had the idea of study day, Friday as a study day, which is a non-work day. So that's actually the free day, you know, the free day concept from coach. That, you know, like very early on, we realized people, you know, they have to have time to recover, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, no, no. 2
Great.
hours.
Yes.
2 hours.
Yeah.
4 times
4 days.
4.
4 days, right? Times 4 weeks.
Yeah. No.
No. Okay.
No.
Times.
That's 1 week.
Okay, 1 week.
52.
Times,
that's 50.
52.
So that's a year.
Okay.
A year.
Per year. Okay.
That's a month. That's 34 hours in a month.
Oh, 34 months a month. Right.
That's
sure.
that's the accurate way of doing it.
Right. Okay. All
right?
right.
All right, call it 35. Okay.
Okay. All right. 35 hours per month. Yes.
Divided by 30. That's how much you're paying him then, the 900.
Okay, I see. 25 hours per 25
No,
hours.
no, that's
$25
dollars. That's
per hour,
$26.
right? Yeah. Right.
That's
Okay.
$26.
So yeah, so that's yeah, pretty much. So that is higher than the current immunology rate of $20 per hour. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's also higher than I think it's worth paying. $26.
Mhm.
If you're telling me that $10 an hour is minimum wage, then it's like 1.5. No, it's 150 times the what you're currently paying.
Right. But I mean, minimum wage is like minimal. You know, it's like McDonald's. You know,
At the beginning of the
burger fry.
conversation, you said that it's $10, right? And that's what he's being paid.
No. The minimum I was referring to was the Taiwanese monthly minimum salary. Yeah, which if you calculate it down, yeah. Anyway, for Taiwanese, that's you know, you have to divide that by you know, that's probably considered 9 hours per day times 5 days a week. Well, no, call it 40 hours. Okay, 40 hours per week. So that's okay. So the accurate weight, you're saying that times 52 weeks, right?
Yeah, divide that by 12.
Okay, so 40 hours times 52 divided by 12 months. Okay, so it's about 173 hours, 173 hours per month.
And what's a month?
Okay.
And what's
So
that
the hourly
monthly
rate
wage then?
of that, the hourly rate of that comes down to $5 per hour.
So you're offering 5 times the amount, 5 times the hourly rate.
Right, exactly, yes. But
That's
I
just
mean,
right now. Do you know? It's one thing if you've got a back pocket full of cash, and the company is just generating tons of money. Then you can afford to pay whatever you want.
Correct. Right.
We're not in that situation.
Okay. So basically, well, but I do like to say that the amount, you know, again, value is what you got, price is what you pay, right? And I think the right now
That's a nice theoretical statement,
right?
But that's all it is.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, where is the money coming from? Where is it?
Okay. Right.
It's sitting in your pocket and it's sitting in mine.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
You're asking me to sacrifice something that I have to work hard for.
Right.
To give to somebody that I've got no control over. For a rate that's 5 times what the normal is.
Right.
The value there is that value statement. That's not really it's not really applicable for me because I don't see anything.
Right.
It's an investment.
It is.
In what?
Right.
In the company. Well, okay, fine. But nevertheless, it's still seeing a return on that investment, which is important. And what I'm bringing to the conversation now, okay, so like, look, I put money in. I've let it run.
Right.
And my fault, if that's the right word, is not pushing this kind of profitability angle and where are we at angle soon enough, hard enough. Because I think that's really necessary. So if we're paying the guy, if we're going to pay 900, well, I'm not interested in paying somebody 5 times.
Right.
What is the standard rate?
The minimum wage. Yeah. The minimum wage hourly.
I mean, if you could sit there and show me, right, actually, Mike, you know, if you just go onto this HR site, if you just, sorry, just got distracted by somebody in the hotel. If you now tell me that I'll go onto this HR site and actually in Taiwan should get a minimum of between, I don't know, call it $15 to $20, right? Just for argument's sake.
Right.
US per hour. Right. That's a guy who's got, you know, 15, 20. So let's say 20 is for a full stack developer. Well, no, a full stack developer might get 25 or something like that with 10 years of experience, or, you know, yada, right? Then, you know, you've got your students who are on $12. Right. Students who are still at university. That then gives me a sliding. That I then understand is what the going rate is for, what the market rate is for people within that position.
Right.
But I mean, to sit there and say, well, okay, we're going to let you do 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. We're only going to pay, you know, we'll pay 900. That's 25. That seems to me to be out of sync, out of kilter.
Right.
Too generous.
Yes. Right. Okay.
And here's the thing. What you know, to put it this way,
right.
Your natural bias is to favour the people who have the same background as you. So you're going to think of everything from being a coder because that's the journey that you've been on. Or you've experienced part of that. Likewise, my my bias will be to favour salespeople. Because that's the journey I've been on, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be a case of, well, you know, you have to ask yourself the question: are you being, you know, kind of truthful
objective,
with the conversation? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's the right word.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's, you know, are you prepared to take? Here's the value thing. So, are you prepared to go to the bank and take out a loan to pay for this guy for the next 6-12 months and do it purely on a loan basis?
Yes.
On that basis of paying him that rate.
That's actually the funding route I was thinking. You know, take the loan, you know, or find an investor. Okay, I mean, those are basically the two approaches I'm seeing now. But okay, I think, so I really appreciate this conversation because I think it's bringing a lot of angles to this, you know, and if we can actually have some, I guess, system coming out from this, that will be tremendously valuable. What I'm thinking now, so also to share with you, so Immunology operates at $20 per hour for a quote unquote full-time level professional developer. Okay. If they're just starting as a student without much experience, but some coding skills, it's actually half of that. Okay, so it's $10 per hour. And you have to go through that period for a certain time until you have demonstrated, proven that you can deliver, okay, before you can move on to the next level. And that's, you know, there's that's a judgment call at that point. I consider Josh probably, you know, he's probably demonstrated good enough to be at the professional level, okay, in terms of skill set, okay. I mean, this is just, I guess, I'm sharing with you my take, my view, okay. What he's lacking at the moment is the consistency part, okay. I don't think he's yet able to perform consistently, but granted, he has other, he's got another job and, all the other things that's going on. So this is something potentially that can be improved if it's focused on just, our project on JCF alone. Okay, potentially, but we don't know that yet. Okay, so what that means to me is that a reasonable, quote unquote reasonable, if judging from immunology's sort of standard experience, is that he's probably worth the $15 per hour mark at the moment. Okay, moving towards the $20 per hour. If he can demonstrate it that, there's consistency in performance and reliability in performance. Okay, so for me personally, I'm quite happy to offer him $15 per hour, to start with, or let's say for the next 3 to 6 months, right? And then if he demonstrated that he's worth that value, then I'd be happy to up that to $20 per month. But I'm quite happy to start with $15 because I think he's beyond the $10 already. Okay, he's definitely not just like a newbie or I mean just someone who knows coding. He's demonstrated certain results, right? And also right now he's again already have a mastery over. I think he's getting more understanding of both our system and also how blockchain stuff works, right? So, I mean, actually right now, Sunny is not really Sunny only provides feedbacks and directions. He doesn't like touch any of the actual stuff. It's now Josh works now. So I think he has ownership of the current system as well, okay? So that being said, I'm also happy to start with just 2 hours, okay? Because again, from both accountability and also risk management point of view, I think that's probably what we want to start with. Okay, basically, in a more controlled way. So what this will turn out would be 2 hours times, let's say, I'm putting that as let's say 5 days a week. Okay, given that you might
20.
Sorry.
If you go 2 times 4 times 15 times 52 divided by 12, it's 520.
2 times 4.
That's 2 hours, 4 days a week.
Right. Okay.
Times 15.
Okay, that's the hourly rate. And
then times 52.
Oh, okay. All right.
Divided by 12.
Okay.
$520.
A month, right? A month.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So probably that's the amount. I think. Yeah. So that's yeah. That's
a lot less than 900, isn't it?
Yes, a lot less. Yes, correct. Yes.
So this conversation saved the company $400 a month.
Yes.
Almost 5,000 a year.
Okay. Yes. I
think then clarity of what's expected,
right.
and then also clarity of where the transition is. So he's here, if he wants to get to this marker, he needs to get to if he needs to get to here, this is what he needs to do. Oops.
Right.
I think that's really important, because otherwise, in 6 months, and then the timeline, it's a suggested timeline, in 6 months, he could sit there and go, I'm here now. You go, no, you're not, you're still back down here.
Right. We also want to be clear about how to evaluate and judge, right?
But that's something that it needs to be as objective as possible, whilst remaining what's the word, unsubjective, because in that way it's
in the past
it's fair.
Yeah, in the past, what we have done is on the daily assignment. Okay, actually, it used to be daily sync. Okay, it used to be daily sync. Daily sync, we would assign the red and blue items for developers. Red ones are must done, blue ones are good to done, good to do, and black ones, so different priorities. And I guess the key metric will be like, what's the completion rate of the red items, essentially. Yeah. So,
and I suppose the thing is, if you double that, then it's 1,040. If you double what is, if you double the amount of hours.
Right, exactly.
Put them on a 4-hour day.
Right, exactly.
Then once that's all done, then we can sit there and say, well, all right, what about okay, if you took $10 an hour,
right,
we would offer you $5 an hour in tokens in addition. So every hour he's earning 5 tokens. But I mean, actually that doesn't work, because oh no, wait a minute. Are we saying that a token is worth $1?
At the moment, yes. No. I think we're designing each token to be, the default value is 1-to-1 equivalent to US dollar.
Right. So then by saying that, then say, okay, well, one token, if one token is $1, then offer 10 per hour, and then so he's got a choice. He can take 15 an hour, or 10 an hour plus 10 tokens.
And 10 in tokens?
Right? Yeah. So he doubles he doubles his token value. But I mean, that's obviously, I mean, I don't know whether or not that financially works or not. Whether or not
work in terms of what? Work in terms of what?
Well, I mean, I don't know how that if he cashes it in, where's the money coming from? When does he cash it in?
Oh, okay. Well, I think the one way to design this is that the tokens will be redeemable based on a pool. Okay, based on a pool of reserve cash. Okay. And what we can do is that, for example, for the reserve cash, right now, I'm just giving an example. Okay, this is one way to do this. Let's say we are issuing the token at face value, let's say 1-to-1 to US dollar. Okay, so we want to compensate Josh for, let's say, 10 in cash and 10 in tokens, right? So that's what we give him. Okay, $10 in cash, $10 in tokens. However, the token, when the amount of sort of fiat currency, let's say USDT or whatever, that acts as the collateral for the token being issued. Right now, we're only putting 50% of the supposed worth. So for example, if we are issuing 1,000 such tokens, we're only putting $500 worth of USDT. Do you see what I mean? Meaning that if he cashes immediately out, right? Or maybe we can even set rules that he cannot cash, okay? Or if he cashes out, basically he gets the same as $15 per hour. You see? But then it's expected that we will be putting more, okay, as company starts to earn, or depending on what we set the criteria to be, we will increase the collateral size, accordingly. Okay, so basically, let's say for $1,000 face value token, we started with just 500 in collateral, but then we are expected to add more, okay, over time, so that at one point it will be 1,000 collateral for $1,000 token, but then it's expected to go beyond that, right? So it makes sense for someone to keep the token, right? If the company is making progress, or the token value is expected to rise over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. And then the other thing then is that as soon as the dividend payout comes out, he's got a token, so he'll get a dividend payout, won't he?
He will get tokens as dividends. Yes, I think if that's what we're expecting to do, yes. For, let's say, if we're building up a company token, right? Let's say if we're issuing a JCF company token. That's how.
No, but I mean, if so, what token are we giving? Because if if a JCF token enables a token holder to get a basic income from that.
Okay, all right. So
the next time the dividend goes out, then that token
right.
holder will get a dividend part of the dividend share, won't they?
Right, correct. Okay, but this is the thing though. I think the token I just talked about, or the token we want to compensate, let's say for developers, it's different from the JCF main fund token. Okay, it's more like the JCF company token.
But then that's got no value.
Well, it will have collateral. For example, in the design I just mentioned, let's say, I mean, in essence, we cannot issue just as we wish or indefinitely any amount of token. We cannot do that. It has to be backed by collateral. Although the initial rate could be a rate with, let's say 50%. So, for, let's say, every $1,000 or for every 1,000 tokens we issue, for example, we have to put in $500 worth of collateral.
And that comes from the team token dividend payout from JCF
yes,
main.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, from a maths perspective,
or just any source. It could also be, let's say, investor money, or any kind of revenue money, right?
Yeah.
But if you tie that to the JCF dividend, that's one way to do it. Certainly, yes. For example, we can designate it, like for the JCF revenue, that we're getting the 13%, right? We can say that we're designated a percentage. Okay, let's say out of the 13%, at least 5% has to go into the company token collateral pool, right? That's one way to structure this, right? So that ties directly the company growth with the value of the company token, you see?
Okay. And so I've just been thinking about, okay, fine, I get what you're saying. And I've been thinking about how many tokens do you actually award? And I think it'd be better if we have a percentage, scaling percentage. So that you had, let's say you had, so maybe it might start at 15%. So somebody who starts and is on a kind of basic salary, then they can either choose to take for example, let's call just the basic salary at $15. He can take $15 in fiat, or he can take $10 in fiat, and then the $5 plus an extra. Right?
No. Okay.
That's 100%, isn't it?
Right.
So if you take 10 in tokens, you've just doubled his.
Right. That's an example. Yes. That's an example. Yes.
Yeah.
But you're talking about what should be the multiplier, right? What should be the multiplier you're talking about?
Yeah. So actually, do we do it on the so okay, fine. So if the base salary is 15, right, and we're offering 10 and 10,
right,
then you've added you've added 5. You've added what? What's that? 500. It's about 30%, isn't it? Yeah. Or have I got my maths wrong?
Oh, I see. I see your point. I see. You're talking about like the premium, right? You're talking about like the premium.
Yeah.
It's 20 over 15. Okay. Right? 20 over 15. It's about $33 premium. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
33%. 33%. Yeah. 33%. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Right. So what we might say then is, to start with, then you might have, let's say the percentage bands might be 15, 30, and just go up in 15s. Right? 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, and then 100.
Okay.
And you've got a different tiering structure for people on different kind of basic salaries or longevity in the company or something. You with me?
Right.
Because then you're saying, okay, so instead of saying if 15%, right, you go, which is
you're breaking up. Hold on a sec. Let me see if this is
it's probably me because I'm on the mobile.
all right. Let me switch to a network. Maybe it's
me, Shunyun. It's not a network.
hello, hi. Is my voice all right?
Yes, fine.
All right, okay.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
So, mate, you know, if you were to do with 15, so you say, well, okay, you can have 15 in fiat, or you can have 10 in fiat and 7.25 in tokens.
Right.
So he can then see will get more money theoretically if he takes the tokens.
Right.
Then he's actually investing in the business himself.
Yes.
With that
In a sense, yes, that's very true. Yes.
Anyway, look, dude, I just realised we've been on this call for an hour and a half now, so
yes.
I'm gonna have to go.
Sure. Are you happy with the discussions, though?
Yeah, I'm fine. I do feel like I'm being a little bit negative.
Okay.
But I'm not deliberately being negative. I'm just trying to just put different angles in.
Yes, which is not bad. Yes, I appreciate it. Okay, it's I actually think it's the best results when you can have different angles blend in, right, and actually figure out, as Ray Dalio said, you know, radical transparency brings the truth, right? You want to discover what's the truth behind things. So I think that's all right. So one final question is, are you happy to start with what we just discussed and start to pay him, I think, $15 per hour? However, the token thing might work out. Okay, that's something we could still have some discussions, but I think we already have a basic version, which I like. Okay, you know, basically taking $10 in cash and then let's say $10 in token, right? Which is collateral. No, okay, so
it would be 15, 30, so it would be 15% on top, so it'd be 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
7.25.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's fine. So basically 7.25, right? So I think that's good. 7 so I guess the only question left is always willing, ready to pay him with whatever approach.
Well, I mean, at the moment, I don't have
okay, the cash,
sufficient.
Right?
Yeah, because I'm going into my last quarter.
Right.
Okay. I'm not putting anything on the line for that. And once I get into September, I'll know where I sit with everything.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, sure. So that means I think probably I'll have to figure some ways out. But let's say he's happy to accept that. Then I think it's, how much is it a month? It will be $10, right?
520.
520, but that's at the $15. That's the $15. If we offer token, that would be even less, right? But oh, sorry, we do have to prepare 520 though. That's right? I mean, regardless of what he accepts, 520. That's something we have to prepare.
It's
because we have to put
4,
in,
right?
we have to put in the collateral. We have to put in the collateral, right? I think that's the idea. Okay.
2 times 4 times 15. 52. Yeah, it's 520. Well, it's, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do the fiat plus tokens, then you're going to have to put more than 520 into the pot, aren't you? Because you're going to have to put the collateral in.
Oh, but I thought the 520 is already at the $15 rate, right? No?
Yeah, that's at a $15 rate.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think
I'll
that's
go.
just chiming. Okay. All right. So thanks.
Yeah. So I think in principle you can sit there and say, broadly speaking, what we're going for, the details of what, I think we still need to work out the details.
Okay. All right. So Josh is here. So probably we'll have the sync. Okay, on the tech part.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Mike.
All right, I'll let you go.
Okay. Yeah, we just had a discussion. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. Very helpful. All right. Take care. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.